the market as a whole is slow. But right now, we are observing the fact that XRP is trying to push higher. It is actually giving it a try to overrun the market, because right now you also see that macro narrative does not look good. Even though this actually started from 2020, they are going to take over now. Within 10 days, you're actually going to see this in the market. So right now, we actually saw these divergence coming. And right now, the market suggests you that XRP is giving it another try to break back higher. That's positive, while we understand the fact that the entire market is slow and it's just XRP in the top 10 which is giving it a try right now. Great. Now, while you actually look through a lot of this, you get to see positive news all around. The news, the narrative, everything is slowly turning in. So if you don't believe that the news and narrative can push the price up, you may be up for some surprises, because the market right now is trying to hammer this guy, because Judge actually gave you a thought process like, okay, we don't think Hinman's thought process is private thing. It should be public, right? So that's another win for the transparency side of this. Unredacted Hinman emails to be publicly available soon. So this is going to be huge, because as soon as the market gets this, I believe XRP is about to pump hard. Now, what am I basing my steps on? Is it just the news, the narratives? No. While we look at the price action, we are right now watching this. There's a 4-hour chart. We got this divergence. We are blasting through, right? While you look at the medium-term corrective signals, the market already showed you the fact that it can correct like this, and it is time for a reversal, right? The RSI was suggesting you that from few days, and we were observing that, right? We were going through that, and we talked about this possibility. If we get a breakout on this yellow zone, we are watching the price going higher. So if you actually take a step back and look at the market, this is what you are looking at. In last 1 year, the market tried to push through this level. Finally, after 700 days, we broke this range. We retested this for 2-3 months, and now we are trying to bounce off. So while you look at XRP USD, it's also important to equally look at XRP Bitcoin. And right now, it actually gives you the fact that, okay, we're getting a divergence. Last time we got this, we bounced hard. Right now, we are trying to do the exact same thing in the market. And that on a weekly makes the difference. Now, this is not like, okay, the price is slowly trying to bounce up and we are trying to go FOMO into the market. That's not the reality, because we've been talking about this scenario like, okay, we can drop down and from there we would bounce. From the weekly chart, from the short-term micro chart, we were actually suggesting you the divergence is still there, right? If you were following all this, you already understood the fact that we went through all this. The short term, the medium term, XRP BTC, XRP USD, in a lot of different ways, and trying to update you guys about what exactly is happening in the market. Because some of this, for me, is super important. Because this is going to give you the macro perspective of where this asset is moving towards. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We talked about this scenario again and again, and this is a little bit older chart, like it dates back last month, late last month. We talked about the possibility that we may come down to test this level, which is close to 0.4, 0.41 as a range, because that would be testing the trend line. So most likely, we may bounce. Why? Historically speaking, while you go back a couple of years and look at 2020, you're able to see that the market right now is showing us that it is kind of repeating that. And I'm happy if that does happen right now. So you actually go to the price action. You're looking at the short term, you're looking at the medium term, you want to actually see what the patterns are. You want to literally see what the wave structure would look like. So we are trying to anticipate what the market is doing. Now, we may not end up 99% accurate, but getting an edge is more than enough. On a weekly, we are trying to erase the last bearish candle. And the bounce happens to be from this level of resistance, which is turning into a support right now. So you go back here, this is what we were talking about, right? You go back, you will actually see this is what I'm anticipating, and that's 10% more drop. Back then, we actually did that. We drop. And what am I talking about? Before we bounce back higher. And right now, we are watching that the market is trying to do something. So now, yeah, on a candlestick, you get the top, the bottom, the long, the wick, everything. So we move on to a line chart to reduce the noise, because we really want to see like, okay, what the market is exactly doing. If the market can actually give us a better perspective, that helps. At least that's my thought process. Because if XRP is moving, I would say like, okay, now Bitcoin, now Ether, everyone else will try to move because they see like, okay, large cap asset like XRP, it's moving. So let's pick up, right? Investors would be like, okay, that's moving. Maybe these assets are going to follow. And right now, that is not a bad deal, because if the entire market decides to run up, we've already loaded up in some of our positions, right? We went in. So we increased 100% more in the recent dip. Now, not exactly the bottom, the absolute bottom, but somewhere close to the bottom. Some of the assets actually dropped 60%, but we were able to bulk them, load them up around 50-55. One of the reasons why I say this, we don't only follow XRP at this detail. We don't go deep only in XRP. We go deep in the entire market, the crypto market as a whole, the macro scenario, so that you guys understand what the hell is happening in the market out there. And once you get the better understanding of what the market is doing for all of these assets, some of them are great opportunity. Some of them are about to break higher. Some of them are showing you a double bottom pattern. Some of them are entering buy zone. What does that mean? Because back when we were talking about this scenario, some of them were saying, no, we're going to go to panic. We're going to break through these levels like boom. And I'm like, wait a minute. Historically speaking, now I can be 100% wrong, but this is a chart which I'm watching. Historically speaking, while we go through all of these crosses, each time the 21-day moving average crossed the 50, whether it's to the downside or to the upside, we actually observe the price go back down to test the moving average zone and then bounce back to the direction of the shorter moving average. So here, 21-day moving average is going up, and that's bullish, that's positive. Now, if you actually look at the macro market cycle, we would really like to see the market going back up. One of the primary reasons for this is like the banking stocks are hammered. This is one of the bank which is taking over TD, and it right now looks like, okay, they are already down 53% for this session of the market, which is like so bad. Then you go back, look at JP Morgan. I'm like, okay, if this is how JP Morgan looks like, I'm concerned. I'm really concerned, because think, this is one of the biggest banks of the world, and if their shares are about to drop another 50%, think about what would be the narratives like. Think about what the news will be, right? There would be something coming. We really don't know what the hell it's going to be, but there should be something. Look at the RSI. The strength is actually reducing at a time when the price is going up. Last time the same happened, you dropped 50%. So I would say this time it can be 60. It should be fine if you are prepared. Whereas imagine the banks are about to pause withdrawals or limit your withdrawals. And it goes something like, the Nigeria, the Argentina, the Italy. These countries are having trouble. And after that, like Lebanon, they say, okay, this is the only amount you can take out. You can't take out more than $100. You can't take out more than $50. That's going to be bad. And if you're looking for opportunities to invest, you may have to literally decide as soon as possible, because the market, especially on the crypto side of things, is looking great in my opinion. Now, I can be wrong, but look at this. Think about this for a moment. You have money in the bank. You don't trust the bank. The banks are dropping hard. Crypto has already dropped and it's bouncing back up. So on a psychology level, you actually go into the macro level charts and you're looking at crypto and you're like, okay, this is how the crypto market is looking like. It went up, after which it actually dropped massively. And historically speaking, whenever you see drops like this, it's followed by a big rally. Let it be 6 months after this, let it be a year from now, whatever it is, the market actually is going up. Whereas right now, the banking stocks are looking different. They are close to the all-time highs. They're showing that they have a long way to the downside. Let it be the Indian banks, let it be the US banks. We are having trouble, which will, in my humble opinion, attract a lot of new money coming into gold, silver, and crypto for sure, because it's not only, the old guys who are actually going to run on to a safe haven assets, because right now the market sentiment plays out. You go look at gold. Gold is slowing down at a resistance. It's showing you a divergence. So most likely the thing is like, okay, it may actually drop. So let me wait, right? Let me wait. Once it dropped to the support level, I'm going to buy this. Maybe that's your perspective. With gold, with silver, you're going to load up as soon as the price drops. Now, we had our thought process. We shared this, how this is going to turn out. With the divergence forming here, we shared our thought process. This is going to drop. And right now, from that 25 level, it's already dropping. We are below 24. So going back to XRP, look at the macro scenario here. What would you see if the price is making a higher high, even on a 4-hour chart? Because with that confirmation, the market would slowly think like, okay, there is something happening. Maybe it's the news. Maybe it's the narrative. Something is coming out. We really don't know what it is. But think about that for a moment. If the price action is breaking through this level, now that's the key here. That's a resistance. You need to break through that level. Last time, you made a base, you broke through that, you retested and got rejected. So we want to make sure we're not getting too much excited right now. We want to actually see like, okay, it's true that the reversal signal is there. It's true that the market is showing something different than what we saw here, because we are breaking through these levels of resistance. So on a 4-hour, we do watch that the market is showing us some signals. Great. Now, as we zoom out, we would like to see the same scenario playing out. So you actually go as much as possible to the macro scenario and you kind of jump onto a monthly chart. And I'm like, okay, the monthly does look like, okay, we are volatile. We have long wicks to the downside, but this is the range, right? The previous level of resistance acting as a support right now. That is bullish, because if you're looking at that and saying like, okay, maybe I'm about to bounce from here, that's now a different story. What would that mean? This range is about to create some traction in the market. I mean, you're going to actually see maybe something like this. Now, each impulse would look different. The upside would look different. But I'm just talking about the structure, because last time the market did something like this, we literally saw similar pattern happening in the market. It was super volatile. It was not easy to be in the market at that time, for sure. But believe me, FOMO happens so quickly. This is crypto market, understand? In stock market, yes, the pendulum from greed to fear jumps fast. In crypto, it's instant. You don't actually spend a lot of time in the middle. You spend either in fear or in greed. And that movement in between, it's fast. It's rapid in crypto. While the price actually goes up, you have a lot of youngsters in the market. They go euphoric. When you see a small level of panic entering, they're like, boom, I'm out of my position. They're selling at a loss. So that's how the market actually works, literally. If you look back for the last couple of years and say like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but the way I'm looking at this market, it's not close to a top. It came down. We stayed this low for a long period of time. And right now, banks are having trouble on the other end. Now, think about the macro scenario. If all these banks are about to drop hard and the macro scenario, the situation looked like this, a worldwide panic, 99% people of this world would have trouble for sure. Only 1% is in crypto, and if crypto goes up, they are fine. They survived this or they thrived. Think about this. Banking industry is actually going into trouble, and they have the strat capital all around the globe, the nose through, the was true. And they have different options. They can go for XLM, HBAR, XRP, whatever it is. But if you look at the adoption phase, if you look at the network, I would say they literally have way more network than others. I'm talking about XRP Ledger and Ripple, the company. So if that's how we are looking at the market, then yes, on the macro side, this can be really bad for a lot of people. But if you are positioned well enough in this market, you are about to reap some benefit. Now, it was not easy to be in this market to hold on to this asset class. Right now, even Bitcoin is trying to show you like, okay, maybe I'm about to bounce, maybe I'm about to break this resistance, but I'm starting to trend low. I put in a lower low, I put in a lower high, I'm actually trending lower, right? And XRP at that point is suggesting you the fact that I'm moving higher, right? So for Bitcoin, the thought process we shared earlier, if you remember, is like, okay, this is a corrective wave to the downside, and I expect a move like this, which is a corrective wave, and then go deep down. Now, if we get to see that the price is invalidating this range, now that's different story. Meaning that wave structure, wave count does not matter. The banks are collapsing on the other end. Billions of dollars are about to come into gold, silver, crypto for sure, and that will change the scenario. Think about this. If that amount of money from people who are not that familiar with crypto is entering the crypto market, they would not just jump into any asset. Most likely they're going to go for Bitcoin. Most likely they're going to end up in Ether and Bitcoin for sure, right? And on a short-term chart, we're observing, okay, Bitcoin is showing some level of confidence that I'm going higher, fine. But you need to see Bitcoin going about 27,128. So if it enters 27,200, 300, that's like, okay, the short-term bulls are working on something, and this may look interesting. Say Ether, right now, with what the RSI suggests to you, is like, okay, I'm about to bounce, right? I'm about to actually go higher towards testing these level of resistance. So imagine you pick this level and say, okay, maybe the price is about to come to that level. If you watch the price grind higher like that, now you want to actually zoom out and look at the price action. If it's a reversal which you're observing in the market, that means there is something going on, right? You have this pattern, you broke that to the downside, you're now retesting. So if that retest happens to get rejected, it's a different story. Now we are going to the downside. It's still bad. The bearish movement, people are going to accumulate, all those stuff. But if you manage to break higher, now you want to actually put in a higher high, which would actually mean the price should go much higher. But it doesn't actually look like that. Whereas you jump back into XRP and it's showing you, no, things are different here. They have completed their three-wave structure. What do I mean by that? I'm repeating this maybe the 1,000th time. I know this community, the SI family is not that big, but what I really want is those who watch this should be able to take benefit of this move in the market. We've been talking about this thought process from some time. It's not like today or yesterday. We had this thought process when we were still up high, saying, okay, I think this is the medium-term thought process. Now, one of the reasons why I say Ether may still correct back down is because Ether actually showed you the pattern, the three-wave structure. It completed that. It's still going on for the corrective wave side. So I'm like, okay, does that actually mean like XRP is completely decoupled from Bitcoin? Who knows? We'll have to watch and see. But right now, it actually shows you clearly the fact of the matter is Ether is following Bitcoin. It has completed the three-wave structure. Bitcoin is doing its correction. Ether is following it. But it does not actually look like XRP is doing that. XRP is trying to go for the third wave up. Now, is that only XRP? No, there are highly correlated assets in the market. We are literally observing these other assets trying to break back higher. Remember all these posts? We've actually talked about the buy zone for a lot of these assets, right? Saying like, okay, this is entering the buy zone, this may move up soon. We went through a lot of these different assets, at least in last 2-3 days, covering as much assets as possible because we thought like, okay, these are actually entering some of the buy zones, some of the resistance, and that would definitely help you to stay relevant and updated in this market because you really don't want to miss out on a huge move up. We've been talking about this for last 3-4 days, talking about XRP, how you can see the price going up, maybe a 10x, maybe a 25x. But I was saying, yeah, the pain is actually coming. But remember what we talked about in detail was XRP versus BTC. Because we actually had the same thought process from some time, saying, okay, XRP may actually go up when Bitcoin is about to drop. We've been saying this for a month, right? And one of the primary reasons for that is now evolving in the market right now. We are watching that it is trying to push higher. As soon as you get a new local swing high, the market is going to go like, who cares about Bitcoin? This asset is running higher. Even if you don't know about XRP, you're like, okay, let me jump onto that asset. Let me take benefit of this momentum. Let me jump onto it. That's what the market usually does. So while you're in the market and you're looking at the XRP chart, if you got value, please do hit that like button for me. Now, you just plot this trend line. There's a daily chart and we are looking at a trend line. Now, we really want to be conservative here. So we're going to actually try and connect the roofs or the resistance range of these. And I'm like, yeah, it does seem like we are breaking that range here, which actually is pretty attractive for me. In my eyes, I would say, okay, we are going higher. And if you've been waiting for a massive low here, you can be surprised. Now, what's the negative side of this? Right? This is the crypto market. If you actually see a world war breaking out, something else is going to happen. There's going to be a trend line resistance. So somewhere around 0.6, if you are getting rejected, now that's again some level of panic. It's not on a daily, but when you actually go on a weekly chart, if you don't complete this wave structure and get rejected by 0.59, 0.6, some kind of pain is about to enter. But if not, most likely, we are going to see the price going up. Why am I saying that? Repeatedly, I'm repeating this again and again and again because this is the bottom which we saw. At that bottom, the price and the RSI showed you a massive divergence. We've been following this, I don't know how long, but if you saw this, if you notice the fact that this is the weekly RSI we've been talking about, this is the weekly chart, the macro chart, the micro chart, the monthly chart we've been detailing through. Now you have an advantage in the market. Now you understand that, okay, last 4 times the market bounced off from this level. So if this is the 5th time, I would go with the history. I wouldn't say like I'm smarter than the history. I would say I'm a student of the market. So guys, again, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.